these people got to stop complaining. They have this thing and this thing and a bunch of these. I didn't have any of that. I had quality publishing, the government auction guide. I'd have to wait for checks, paper checks to come in the bank. Some people would write forged checks. That screwed me up. I had to save up all that money. I rolled all that money into Pendulum Sportswear and Design, which was T-shirts for amusement parks. And it was so bad back then with no internet. My first major deal, and this was the biggest deal I had in my life, I had rolled, I think it was $7,000. This was in 1991. $7,000. It was every penny I had on my name at the time, into a T-shirt deal for Disney's, well, it wasn't Disney. It was Norway's version of Disneyland. It was called, might pronounce it wrong, Tusenfryd, which stands for Vikingland. Well, I had written Tusenfryd because there was no email, a letter, right? And sold them through the mail on spending $7,000 on Hanes Beefy Tea T-shirts with their graphic on it, and had to close that deal, get on my bike, okay? Because instead of buying a car, I took all my money and I'm like, I'm going to bet on myself and keep rolling this. I hadn't even bought a car yet. I had to go to, our grocery store was called King Soopers, okay? And this is even back in those dollars. It was $3.75 a page to send a fax to Norway. And the people at the grocery store looked at me like I had two heads when I said it's got to go to this phone number, because they didn't even know how to send an international fax. Every penny of my entire being was rolled up into a fax going from a grocery store, right? Hoping that these guys were legit. And when I sent these T-shirts via DHL to Norway, that I would receive a check. Okay? Not only did I receive a check, but turns out, and whoever, I don't even know who it was. So there's some Norwegian somewhere. If he's still alive or she's still alive, I'd love to give him a hug. DHL spilled some oil on my T-shirts, and about 30% of them were destroyed. I had no way to make good on that promise. It was all my money was wrapped up into that order. They sent me a letter. They're like, your T-shirts were so good. Your service was so good. We just wanted to let you know about 30% of them were destroyed, but we're all good. Here's a check for, I think it was $12,000. And that was all my $7,000 was in that deal. I got my $7,000 back plus another $5,000. But my point is this. If I could do that from a fax machine and a grocery store, you guys can do it right now.